This strange and tangled story happened in 2003 when I was about 15. My parents worked at a summer camp in upstate New York, and I lived there with them while they got it ready for the season. The camp had plumbing, but the water was bad, so everyone drank from a spring in a nearby ravine. The ravine had a bad reputation. No real reason, no ghost stories, no weird creatures, just a general unease people had about it. Staff whispered nonsense about ghosts, bears, even UFOs. Personally, it reminded me of something out of a weird sci-fi novel. Still, it was just a ravine. And one evening, I had to go down there alone to get water. It was getting dark when I reached the spring. I filled my water containers and decided to take a different path back, following a trail along the ravine instead of crossing the rickety footbridge. That's when things got weird. I walked and walked, but the ravine didn't end. It should have, but it stretched on endlessly. Houses lined one side of the path, dark and silent. The creek below reflected the last bits of light. Then I saw something that shouldn't have been there. A half-submerged military truck and what looked like a collapsed dam. I'd walked this ravine before. That had never been there. Panic crept in. The sun had set completely, and I was nowhere near the camp. Then I saw a break in a chain-link fence beside one of the houses. Without thinking, I climbed through and stepped onto the porch. The house was abandoned, dust-covered, but one thing stood out, a calendar pinned to the wall. It was from 2011. This was 2003. I flipped a light switch. Nothing. The place had no power. But then I spotted a battery-powered radio on a table. I turned the dial, but every station was just static. Then suddenly a voice came through. Not human. Deep. Guttural. Like something trying to mimic speech but getting it wrong. It wasn't an animal either. Whatever it was talking. The sound made my stomach turn. I can't explain why, but I knew I had to get out. I left the radio on, grabbed my water containers, and scrambled back through the fence. I didn't care how, but I ran, crossed the remains of the bridge, and only slowed down when I saw the camp's lights ahead. I had never been so happy to be back. Years passed. I forgot about it. Then 2011 arrived. Nothing happened, of course, but the memory gnawed at me. I don't believe in ghosts, but that year, I kept waiting for something. When it ended, I felt relieved, and I figured I should finally write this down, just in case.